I already know what this is. It was something that was sent back to me from a long time ago. It's a piece of art, but I don't know. I guess it's just the timing of it all, right? Um, I wanted to talk to mostly in this video the younger artists or anybody who's kind of getting back into their craft or whatever, whatever. And I wanted to show y'all this because this has a nice story behind it. Take the fuck out of this box too. But the lady that sent this, and I've had clients, a few clients like her. She was the head of like basically the psychiatrist or the mediator for convicts, for inmates. She would do a lot of their therapy sessions. And because of the nature of her business, she could never tell me or display anything about her job, you know, until she retired. And then she reached out to me, and she must have bought this piece off of me. God, 2012, maybe a little bit after that. But it was the thing about this piece is it's the first picture that I did when I started drawing with purpose. When I said I invest a little bit more time in my craft, because at that time I know I was trying to figure things out. I was trying to figure out a lot of things in my own life. This is when I first got into metaphysics. This is when I started studying astrology, you know, everything. This is when this is like 93 actually. Because I remember the music being really good at this time. This is the time when Muddy Waters came out. Redman's Muddy Waters, the first one. And all my pictures at that time were in pencil or colored pencil and marker. And I was just starting to get my groove. And it's also around the time I started martial arts. But I haven't seen this picture in years since she bought it. And I wanted to share it. I wanted to share that story because, you know, you just never know what the purpose of your art may be, or where it may end up. Especially when it's from a heart-centered place, something that you really believe in at that certain time. So this is like a flashback to a mentality of a time period that I experienced, which is kind of cool. And she put it in this frame, right? Let's see. She really did the numbers. She made sure this bitch was getting back. But she reached out to me after I finally got my account back on Facebook. I had a message waiting in there for me. And she basically told me how many people and conversations she had with inmates and how therapeutic it was for them in their healing journey, getting back to society, if you will. And I say all this to say the power of art is phenomenal in these regards. And for anybody who is questioning their work at this time, or even if they should be doing it or continuing to do it, I say yes, because you never know. Let's see, did I put a date on this? That's how I could tell it's old. But this is an old piece I did right here. Very old piece. See if I get some of this glare off for y'all. But this is one of the pictures when I first started doing self-portraits. So this was the self-portrait I did of myself during that time. I still had trouble doing eyes. I remember that. I was getting better at hands, but I started putting messages, and I'll move them in a little bit. Putting messages in my work at that time. You know, things that I was studying, things that I was beginning to understand, and what I would want to do with the world, I guess, would to be just to wipe the slate away. You know, all this to wipe all this because we had already, you know, by that age, if you grew up like I did, you know, we was nomadic, all that. We never really settled in a place until the place where I did this. So life wasn't normal like everybody else's. You know what I'm saying? I had best friends every other year because we moved so many times. You know, like I never kept relationships long with people when I was younger. But when we finally got settled after seeing all that, uh, I started translating it. You know, and I could see the beginnings of it. I can still see the innocence behind it, knowing more about the journey in life now. This is you know, I could tell where I was. This is not the butterfly stage. This is the larvae stage. You feel what I'm saying? But it still held the heart space. You know what I mean? And she said she wanted me to have this back, so she sent it back in the mail. That maybe it'll go somewhere where maybe the purpose changes. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe I'll just hang it up for myself for a little while. Seems like a lot of the works are coming back, and you really just have no clue, you know what I'm saying, as an artist, who your work may touch. Because looking at this is, you know, I'm light years beyond this now as far as technique and everything like that, but I can't dismiss the essence of it. And that essence has always remained. You know what I'm saying? And it's important that you keep that as an artist. And again, I'm talking to anybody who's just starting or, you know, I run into so many people in like watercolor class what I do out here on Saturdays. And I just remember that time, taking that first step, getting out of my own way. And this is kind of like a reminder of all that. It's a nice frame too. Like it's not that dollar store shit. Like you can see the little nicks, like it's some real shit. But yeah, it makes you wonder what kind of conversation she had with the inmates based on this. You know what I'm saying? I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall. But that's been, I guess, my avenue, and that's another thing you need to find as an artist is your avenue. What is your message? Whatever, whatever, right? So these are just things I wanted to put out there for the ones that are coming up. You know what I'm saying? The ones that are still here, been around as long as I know. You know, you pretty much know all this already, and if not, well, whatever, whatever. But the power of art, of your art. You know what I'm saying? The power of it. It's priceless. You can't put a price on this. You know what I mean? What she did, she rented it, basically. At this point, she just rented this from me. You know what I'm saying? But that is the other part of the game people rarely talk about that I like to put out there is the accountability and responsibility of being an artist because of the visual field and what it does to the subconscious, all that shit, right? Because then you'll hear that same thing every event. Somebody's gonna say, "I can't even draw stick figures" or something like that. You know what I mean? Or they'll say, "I wish I could draw like that," but not knowing the accountability that comes with that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's. I take it very serious. Let's just put it that way. You know what I'm saying? I understand the power of art, and I always have. Oh, sorry, yo, I ain't even reading comments and shit. Hold up. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Who's over here? Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm on two different platforms. But I appreciate the car. I ain't got my glasses either. This shit is blurry as fuck. I can't even scroll. Let me see. Instagram. Thank you, Jabbar. Thank you, Maya. Well, I think somebody else was in here. I don't know. Uh, well, whoever else came in here. and whoever comes in after this is postage and everything. Show it to somebody. We don't speak enough life into each other. It's a ridiculous thing. It just blows my mind. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you'll have to forgive me in my Venusian ways coming from fucking Venus, but we show love where I come from. You know what I mean? And we like to spread that and uplift people who, what I'm saying, that situation where you could have used or needed that word or that guidance. So you become that. You know what I'm saying? You become what you were looking for in some cases. Not all. You feel what I'm saying? But show this to somebody and let them know that what they're doing, especially if you can see the message, you can see the beginnings of it. You know what I'm saying? Of greatness in somebody. Send them this and give them some encouragement. It ain't even got to be drawing. It could be singing. It could be acting. It could be whatever. But to express yourself fully and be who you are, you know what I'm saying, as an artist. But also understand the accountability that comes with it, because it's the same with commercials and everything else. All that shit plays on the mind and how we make our decisions and how we live our lives and how we pass on our history, the fucking record, making the record straight, make sure the story get told right. It's accountability that comes with all that. So for those people who don't draw, next time, before you say, I wish I could do something that somebody else has, you got to look at that person and see what they go through. I wish I had that girl for a wife, and you don't know that behind closed doors, that so-called happy-looking couple is miserable as fuck. It's that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I got. I'm going to go find a place to hang this thing up, and I'm chilling out for the rest of the night. Except for the bike ride. Get if you ain't been out with us bike riding on Tuesday nights in the Noah area, come out tonight because the weather is still nice. We get the good sunsets and all that, but the rides is therapeutic as well. That's another art. You know what I'm saying? A new art for me. Bike riding with the groups. But if you in Noah, come on out. We'll be down there in Bayou Road. Know how we do. But that's all I wanted to do is share this piece and just get those thoughts out of my head. I didn't want to be, walking around overcooking shit. You feel what I'm saying? But I appreciate y'all for stopping by. And please share it with somebody. God damn, man, that's got to be over 20, 25 years old, that picture. You know what I'm saying? And it's still here. So we'll see what it does. Maybe it's for me now. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's for me now. But I digress. I just got off work. Let me get out of here. But thank you everybody for stopping in. I'll let y'all later.